Jeez. Give me a second, Morris. Everybody doing all right? It's loud. Y'all got your pencils and papers? We're gonna do some real scholarship. We're gonna do some real teaching from no biasness. Get your pencils and your papers, Morris. Got my nap on. I feel great. But give us 1 second. We're gonna jump into this science. Get your pencils and your papers. I keep telling you, Morris, I'm not here for no religious discussion. If any Moors want to be on here, ask me a whole bunch of questions about this and that religion, all you have to do is delete yourself. I'm not here for a debate with nobody. That is not what I'm here for. Whatever you want to believe in, so be it. But if you say you're a Moorish American and you study science, something is wrong with your hippocampus. So I'm not here for nobody religious debate. So if you get on here with this religious debate, I'm just going to block you for life. And all you have to do is excuse yourself. Because my page is for people that want to learn, for true Moors and true light seekers. Not here for no religious debate or just going back and forth like this is some competition on intellect. It's no competition. Everybody knows something, but are we going to build and teach and lead? Because what you know is supposed to materialize in real life, and we're supposed to build. So if anybody, I'm telling you, on my page, want to get in some religious debate, I don't have time for that. Because if you're still confused and if you're still on some religion, you definitely don't understand parable, analogy, and symbology. And you definitely not a God. And you definitely don't understand linguistics. So you definitely can't be studying more science, because in more science, God and man is one. If you don't understand that, that's true shirk. So anybody, I gotta say it again, that will come on my page with all this religious stuff, you will be blocked. Point blank. So give it a second, then we're gonna get into this science. So get your pencils and papers. Almost ready, Morris. Give me a second. We're about to do this. Everybody good? I'm on a call, so just give me 1 second more. Y'all get your pencils, your papers, get you some water, and then I'm gonna show you something, how you can catch a person in a trap. And a lot of times traps, they're not even hard to make. A person will put themselves in a trap. When I tell you, be very careful, man. So 1 second. What's up, members? What's up? You all right? Your nap was good? Good. That is good. Do. I watched most of it, yeah. Yeah, I sure did. I'll do. Peace, y'all. Peace. If you can hear me, say peace. If you can hear me, say peace. I can't hear you. Anybody? Somebody scream. Told y'all, Morris. I'm gonna give y'all a scholarship every time. Watch this. And I'm gonna do this over and over because that's how we're gonna learn. And I said I'm gonna do it until we really notice what I'm doing. I'm telling you, Morris. Watch. Scholarship. Y'all should be done. But before I even get into my Moorish American prayer, before I even get into my Talesman benediction, this is what I like to say. For one, brothers, we're not enemies. That's why I keep telling y'all, why do y'all pick sides like somebody cares who know more than the next individual? That's not what this is about. Because let me tell y'all something about education and academia. All scholars agree as one. I don't see, that's why I be telling y'all, I said, I don't really think y'all know what scholarship is all about. Listen, with European scholars, other scholars, they don't do this because they're scholars, because their research, it all matches, especially if you were a historian. You have to accept the oldest and the truth. There's no debate or this and that and the other, man, in the field of scholarship. And y'all know that. So why do we only do this? That's why I said, think about this, y'all. When all these brothers say they're scholars, if everybody's a scholar, everybody's scholarship should agree as one. There's no, I believe in this scholarship, but I believe in this scholarship. Then it's not peer-reviewed scholarly research, Morris. That means we going on people's figures and we going on the person belief system. And that's what I'm trying to tell us. What real scholars do what Negroes doing in this so-called Moors movement or this conscious community. But that's not what I'm saying. And see, like, I don't know, because once you get to a higher level, you can't learn from everyone. As your degrees go higher in wisdom, I promise you that. You can't learn from everyone, because a wise man can go around fools and be dressed up like they know something, and pick up all those negative attributes. A wise man can start hanging around people. So that's not a true statement. No, you can't learn from everyone. I understand the concept, but then I understand the reality and the probability as well. Just use this as an analogy. If you a conscious person and you hang around with a drunk all day, what that drunk gonna teach you? He's gonna teach you his drunken habits, and it's a lot of attributes that come with being drunk. So let's just be here really to teach, and I can't learn from everyone. That's why I judge the spirit. So I get what brothers be saying, but then again, okay. You know, I hear what the person be saying, but like I said, I'm just serious with mine, and I can't learn from everyone. There's no way. I've been around people for a lot of times that dress like they're knowledgeable and say they're scholars and learn absolutely nothing. And all they talk about is spookism, talking about the plasma TVs has blood in them. And these are supposed to be sheiks. My empress will tell you, y'all, I don't be making this stuff up, man. My empress will tell you. So until somebody, that's spookism, that's garbage to me. And so we're not going to do business with everybody. This the thing that really gets me. I never say any names. I don't do business with everyone. All money is not good money. Especially if a brother, especially in the times now, because your religion is not your nationality. And the first thing that a brother will say that's supposed to be one to know wisdom and law is to say, I'm not a Moorish American, but want to do business with me. And I say, well, okay. Why would that be the first thing a person would say when they, especially a Negro or black or color, say, well, I'm not a Moorish American, but want to do business with me? And then I say, okay, well, what are you? And that's why I say we don't know our history when we gonna let somebody take our history and give it to them. Because no disrespect, because a European, he loves who he is. That's why they have a white pride. And we can't even agree on our nationality. And for a brother, and for a misnomer Negro, black, and colored to start off to try to do business with me to say he's not a Moorish American, I'm like, okay, what angle you coming from? And then you want to do business with me? I'm not going to go on no contract with another individual that don't understand who they are, because all business not good for me. I'm trying to build our community. And that's what I tell people, like, look, man, that's what it was, communities and tribes. If you didn't want to be a part of something, well, then you astray. And that's what it is. If we're not going to build a community, what are we doing? And look, we done went to all these universities and all these colleges, send our kids to all these schools, and then come back and say they don't know anything, but then won't be educated by your own brother. Then expect your brother to educate you and give you all the tools that you don't wouldn't pay for. And I say, well, be a part of an organization, donate, help us build, and we can be a part of something. Because I have a real profession. Now, if you just want me to come teach you about property, about business, then all you got to do is pay my fee, just like you would pay a European to come and teach you those things. Just like these Negroes be going to classes, these Negroes talk about they showing them how to write writs, paying $300 for lectures. Go on my YouTube page, Noble. Please go on my YouTube page. So until we get with the real, I have a real profession. I bet you, watch this. I bet you if a Moor get in trouble right now, I bet you they go get a court-appointed lawyer. I bet you no Negro is not really experienced in the law that can say, oh, you don't got to get no court-appointed attorney because, hey, I'll come defend you. Why? Because I'm competent in the law and I can prove it on all levels. Tell the truth, y'all. If you get in trouble right now, what Moor going to defend you in the court as your best interest, as your legal advice? Somebody give me now. You get in trouble right now, and Moors say they Moors. Anybody right now, today, not that magical stuff, talk about black laws. You couldn't take yourself with no black law dictionary and defend yourself. Tell the truth, Moors. So that's what we're trying to say. We must build. Thank you. And I'm glad when we be honest with each other instead of filling each other up with gas and then somebody bust your balloon with all that false doctrine. We must be honest. And the only way we heal is to be honest. And if we don't know, that's okay. We don't know. A lot of our parents didn't know. A lot of our great parents didn't know. So why we won't be educated? And that's what I be telling brothers. If you got in trouble right now, you would go get a court-appointed attorney and you would be on your begging knees to talk about, ooh, get my baby out. No more can take none of this stuff they be posting on the internet, talk about some black law and defend themselves in the court of law. I know this for a fact. I seen them. I don't have to say nobody's name. I mean, it's a thing called the doc number, precedented case numbers. I mean, this stuff is too simple to look up. And you can be like, oh, this person lying. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, they got a warrant. I thought you beat that. I'm telling you, so we got to be honest. All this stuff we be talking in the streets, you know good and well, nobody right now, if they get in trouble, you getting a court-appointed attorney. Right to this day. So let's be honest, man. So let's do our Moorish American prayer because we're going to learn today. I hope y'all got your pencils and your papers. The Prophet warned all Muslims, governors ordered to read the proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work or in their homes or in the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, my 2 cents Moors, health and wealth. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in the prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out divine pleas to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the temple and the prophet. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of the prophet Noble Jew Ali, our Moorish American prayer, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet Noble Jew Ali. Peace be with you. Shalom alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Whatever your name you give him praise, so be it. The prophet come in the voice of the people. Don't let nobody lie to you. It's going to be a beautiful day today, y'all. But the thing that I respect, when I told you, I respect organization. Because when you organize, you can do things. I respect rank, and that's our problem. But when a man to start off a conversation and want to do business with me and say, well, I'm not a Moorish American, but come on. If that's not important to you and your family to understand who you are in this world, and then to say you understand the law, that's impossible to say you understand the 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment and the 3/5 clause and the 5/5 and a 5 of a fifth. That's impossible for you to start your conversation off and say you're not a Moorish American. And then the next question I have to ask you is, what is you? What are you? Because all in history, all Europeans, everybody that's a scholar will tell you you a Moorish American. They'll tell you all in the Netherlands how the European dressed up like you. And Black Pete. They'll tell you all in Europe how the ancient and modern Britons. What y'all think my Moorish head is about? I mean, are we that crazy? Are we that crazy? That's why I said I respect a person that'll fall under their lines and have pride in who they are. That's why I be telling people, when you look at things, I said that the true art of war is understanding how everybody think. And when you research things, Colorian, I'm telling you, a lot of these individuals, a lot of these groups, when you look at how they set up almost the same. When I say we got to get into scholarship and then stop playing, we got to stop believing in just a figure. We're not here to believe in no figure. No, but Drew Ali said model him. He said he was an angel of Allah. He didn't say he was no God. I don't look at no man that has the same abilities or I have the same abilities as them. What I do, I give them all praise. How can a man say he loved God he never seen, and the first thing we're going to do is start disrespecting our men, our mighty men of God? That's how they got us. That's what Carter G. Woodson said, the miseducation of the Negro. We're looking at our brothers that's knowledgeable, because it says judge a man's by his spirit. Everybody's not your brother, especially if they're going to try to hustle you. So if somebody come to try to hustle you, that ain't your brother. That's why we say judge a man by his spirit. And we should be able to be corrected with wisdom and love. And if we can't accept that, that's a problem. If we can't accept that, Morris, I really think that's a problem. Let me know if y'all still hear? Can y'all still hear? Let me know. Testing. Because I'm getting ready to build on some things. For we can know when I say this is scholarship and we building a community. Oh, did I get my books that I was coming out of? Oh yeah, I got them right in front of me. This is going to be a good build today, y'all. This is going to be a good spiel. And I told y'all, man, we must be re-educated. This is not no, how can I say, who know more than who know this and who know that. That ain't what this is about, man. That's not scholarship. How is that scholarship? Somebody can give me one example how that scholarship, brothers just talk about, oh, I know this, I know that. Okay. But not if it's not valid, then that's make-believe. If it's no reference. So, the first thing I always tell y'all, man, when a person comes with spookism, when I say, if you research, these things is old. Like I said, I've been on college campuses. And just like when I say, just because you have a degree in college don't mean anything. I went to figure things out. I wanted to research. I did that for myself. People waste money in anything else and going in debt for material things. I wanted to go learn. I wanted to get in the libraries. I wanted to pick the brain. I wanted to see could my education and my research stand up to this academia, and it did. I wanted to see if my research and my peer-reviewed scholarly research, all the research that I went to the library that went against all that pseudo-academia, I wanted to see will my research stand up against it, and it did, and I graduated with honors. So can't nobody come and tell me no garbage. Can't nobody come tell me no garbage if you haven't been in academia and stood against them, and they tell you they don't like your candor, which means they didn't like my delivery, but they couldn't refute it because it was peer-reviewed scholarly research, and I graduated with honors, point blank. And I do lectures on college campuses with research. I go right to their libraries. I'm telling you, because if you understand, the royalty and the high educated had different books, and they just printed a different story. Point blank. I'm gonna show y'all this today. That's why I be laughing. I'm like, man, how can a person that think they just a street scholar can deal with a person that's also street and also educated and also have access to resources, also have access to things all over the world? Why? Why would we do that? Why? Because a person that have a motive, they're gonna hide something from you. I ain't gonna hide nothing from you. Like I said, I ain't even started touching on the science that I have in my libraries. I ain't even went deep in it. I haven't even scratched the surface, man. I promise y'all. And when you read this, and when you understand this stuff is old. All this stuff is old. So we're gonna connect some things. Remember, I told y'all, Masonry is not Europeans. I told y'all, just like I removed the veil on all the secret societies, I'm gonna show y'all, and I'm gonna continue to show y'all over and over. What does this say? This is the Europeans, this is their Masonry, and I'm gonna show you ours and how ours trump it. This stuff is simple. If something is older than something, then that means it trumps it. I tell you, they're gonna tell you exactly what they are. They only 32 or 33 degrees, and that's a level above freezing. Just like Black Masons, they only 32 and 33 degrees. That's a level above freezing. And that's why I tell Morris, you got to get rid of all that when you become conscious and you become a Moor, because you're not under nobody auspices no more. You don't have no potentate if you're a Moor, especially if you're in the depth. So this is what it says. The secret ritual of the secret works of the ancient Arabic. One, how can it listen? And this is why I say I'm not coming from no racist spot or anything, because the science of etymology and history will tell you that there's nothing ancient about a European or Albion. This is science. You can get their books. Ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Imperial Grand Council of the Ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, Dr. B.H. Stilliard, 33 Degrees, Imperial Grand Potentate, July 1914, Washington, D.C. See, this is 1914. Now watch this. Now watch this. Now watch this. Now watch this. I'm going to show you. And then, and listen what I just read to you. When I said, if they're sons of Muslims, all they signs or symbols that they have on here is yours, and they are relevant. From the scimitar to the crescent, I'm telling you. And you're gonna let somebody take your science? And I done broke this down many a times. Even a European will tell you it's your science. When I tell y'all David Albert Churchward, when we talk about the signs and symbols of the primordial man, Gerald Massey. I mean, come on, Moors, are we tripping? Are we that crazy? So let me read the science to you, and then we see who's trump who. Now, like I said, don't get your feathers all ruffled up, because you got to read all these religious people who say that ain't Master Fard Muhammad, and he didn't study with the prophet and this and that and the other. I say, hey man, listen, y'all can get in all that debate because that's the religious perspective, but y'all people know the truth. So if whatever. What these people writing, and people want to get into it wasn't this, but people know a lot of people studied under the prophet. People knew that they saw the prophet come back in the States with the feds, just like they saw Deuce Muhammad, just like they saw Abdul Hamid Solomon, and then they was under those teachings. So anyway, Master Fard Muhammad under the alias David Ford, picture in the upper left-hand corner, you know. There are many Masons in this picture. When I'm telling y'all, we are Masons. I keep telling y'all got to understand the science. And somebody going to tell you we don't need degrees. And I say, well, why are you going to give somebody else your science? The development of the MSTA saw the influence of many high-degree black Shriners, Masons, and secret societies, particularly the ancient Egyptian, Arabic orders of nobles of the Mystic Shrine. But see, I just read this right here. Of the European, and a nigger will take this and go under some European auspices, no disrespect from nobody, and they ain't even ancient. I told you to copy you. They done copyright their stuff in 1912. Now let me finish. Started by Noble Ali Rofel Pasha and John George Jones in 1893. But here there it is in 1914. Why you think when you go to Egypt and you research King Menkaure with the left? Why you think the European Mason dress up in all black, representing the melanin? Why you think they got all the workman tools on the outside? Everything has to be on the outside. Why you think they tassel is pinned down, man? Why you think they only 32 degrees? These secret societies played a major role in the events during the late 20s and 30s and governmental changes in America that have great importance to the events happening presently in the world, to the subject of reparations and the New World Order. So, I'm gonna show you another picture we're gonna continue to build. And then I'm gonna show you the date when this was printed. And I'm gonna show you who had this science. So when you say, wait a minute, yeah, they had this science. And there's even more history in this book. I done did this so many times. This is called The Real Indian is the Negro, AKA the Blackamoor. And I have them so much, I printed them. I asked for donations to help us build. And I send them to people. But when I tell y'all things, everything is in here. But I'm gonna show y'all something. Talks about our prophet in here. I'm gonna show y'all another thing, then I'm gonna show y'all the date when it's released. Y'all know who that is, right? So when we talk about things, it's no secret. It's no secret. I'm not even gonna touch on that and read the caption, but it's no secret. Descartes said Muslim, not Muslim, but whatever. We know certain things, what it is, and the spelling, we don't get caught up in that. But we know certain things, what it is. We know what certain things, and I'm not going to get into reading all that because I'm going to build on something else. That's why I said, man, brothership shouldn't be afraid to be students. Now, listen to what I say, who this was sent to and who had it. written and sent to all students in the ministry of Islam in the wilderness of North America by Elijah Muhammad, servant of Allah, dated 4/2/1936, and then it was reissued 1/18/1963. So this information was available back in 1936. So nobody be coming with no this, that, and the other when you can research the science for yourself and when you can dive all in this and you be like, man, it's a lot of stuff I didn't know. Especially when y'all be thinking the 4th of July is just about some fireworks and don't think it's significant in science. It's the year of the Kiefer. I'm telling y'all, it's way deeper than what you think. But they must get you caught up in an illusion because the real work is being done right in front of your face. And it's all science in here. But I'm not even going to stay in there because we going somewhere. So with that being said, when I tell y'all, I cannot believe a person would portray themselves as a scholar and then not agree with scholarship and then start defending the lie. That make me feel like it's something very, very wrong. Very wrong with that. Because scholars agree on scholarship. We don't defend no lie. There's no reason for that, especially if we're truth seekers. Because the light will outshine the darkness. If I'm light, I can walk in the darkness, but darkness can't overwhelm no light. It can be dark as hell. Once light come in, it bada boom, baby. Come on. I'm just trying to spark our intellectual hippocampus for our beakers can start twinking and we can start vibrating on the same wavelength and we can keep all the rest of that stuff out of us because our vibrations should be so big and so protected that we don't even let none of that negative information deal with us because that's trash. So when I talk about Thomas Jefferson Quran and when I say a lot of stuff they got from the Ottoman Empire, see, we have a history class today, baby. This history. You're going to get more than this than your whole college career. I guarantee you. So I'm going to read an insert so you can follow what I'm saying. And we're going to continue to move right along. Listen to the preface of Thomas Jefferson's Quran. And then we're going to move right along. If y'all feeling what I'm saying, man, somebody say Islam. Your children can teach this. That's why I said my elementary students that was going to school during this so-called Black History moment, man, them teachers like, where did you get this information from? My youth know how to reference stuff, peer-reviewed scholarly research. They know how to do annotated bibliographies. They know how to reference and quote things in the right parentheses. They know how to put things in their own words. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They know about linguistics. But listen to the preface. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not wrong him. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Did y'all hear that? Y'all didn't hear that, man. Let me reverse this. Listen. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not wrong him. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love him as yourself, for you were a stranger in the land of Egypt. Leviticus 19:33 and 34. Who you think they talking about? Let's build. Get your pencils and your papers. This scholarship. One rainy morning in 2011, I requested Thomas Jefferson's Quran. This is the author. This is one of Thomas Jefferson's Quran, but I'm gonna get the other one to you and I'm gonna break down some more history. You're gonna be like, whoa. So you cannot disagree with scholarship. That's why I be saying the person that try to give you some scholarship but then turn around and try to scam you. That's craziness. Let's finish. But I requested Thomas Jefferson's Quran from the rare book room in the Library of Congress. Remember I told y'all, all you gotta do is, I'm gonna show you how to study. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to think. And when you can think and when you question things, then you can build. Because freedom is attached to free thinking. Are y'all following me, man? Are y'all following me? Somebody talk to me. Say Islam. I'm a flesh too. Talk to me, y'all. Talk to me. If y'all feeling what I'm saying, somebody say, Islam, talk to me. Talk to me, y'all. I'll talk back. I'm teaching y'all something that you should be getting chills on, especially if people didn't understand this science. Don't y'all know back then, it was the wisdom that made us something? Not no whole bunch of clothes, not no athletic ability. Because if you had athletic ability, we'd just throw you in the arena and fight the lions. Especially if you didn't have no science, if you didn't understand nothing. That's all I'll be saying with Novus. If we was in the classroom, we have to talk to each other. That's how we learn. But outside, tulips blaze in the bright patches. So I understand what you were saying, Nova, when you said you like tulips. My twinker's open. My twinker's open, Nova. I know where you were coming from. Islam, Noble. Islam, brother Malik Zahid Bey. Islam, brother. Islam, peace and light and illumination to you and your family, man. Point blank. But outside, tulips blaze in bright patches of red around the Capitol building. The flowers reminded me, listen to this, of their origins in the Ottoman Empire. Did y'all just listen to me? When you gonna let somebody give you the science and say your affairs and all this come from some, come on, man. I don't even, let me reverse this. Outside, tulips blaze in bright patches of red around the Capitol building. The flowers reminded me of the origins. Origin means where they come from, just like the appellation. In the Ottoman Empire, the Sultan had first sent them as a diplomatic gifts to the European rulers in the 16th century. And by the mid-17th, the trade in the bulbs of the plants had reached a frenzy. Pitch in the Netherlands. Jefferson would add them to his garden at Monticello in 1806. And so it was that through contact with Muslims long ago, the stunning flower had eventually reached North America, where it now reigns as a sign of spring. When I be breaking down the zodiacs, man, and I tell you when things are born at this time, you're under this astrological, boo, boo, boo. When we talk about the clock of destiny, when you let somebody tell you we don't need this no more, I said that is crazy, because you always need science, and science was here way before you. And I tell Moors, if you're a real Moor and an adept, you got to diss everything except mathematics. If you don't understand that, something is very, very wrong with you. For a person to say we don't use something because you don't like an individual. And I say the science is valid. That don't make any sense for a person to do that or to tell you some craziness like that. When we talk about the clock of destiny, volume 1 and 2, and I say you get caught in religious figures knowing this is the son of Allah with all the astrological signs, with all those veins, with all those rays off of it. And then somebody gonna tell you, oh, we don't deal with no CMB. I said, man, you got to be crazy. I ain't talking about no individual. I'm talking about the science, because nobody can diss the science. Europeans love that. This stuff is in the Library of Congress. This is science. That's why I be laughing at brothers. But y'all, they be caught up in the individual. And I'm like, man, the science is valid. So that's that part of history when you can see where certain things come from. This is another one of the Qurans, the Thomas Jefferson Library. This is the Thomas Jefferson Library. And that's why I be trying to tell my brothers, I love all y'all. I have brother families that's Nation of Islam. And then behind closed doors, they'll sit and tell me the truth, like, no, but you know I'm an imam. And a lot of the brothers, they don't read. They only read what we tell them to do. And the most of us, we're not educated on no scholarship. We on the belief system. And they'll tell you that behind doors. And that's why I tell more. Why would you even discuss something with a brother that's have a religion and believe in something, and you're gonna try to give science to them? I'm not getting ready to do that. Because if you're a real scientist and they put that religion next to science, that's just theory. The science trumped the theory, and everyone knows that. Like when I tell brothers that's caught up in a religion, especially outside of themselves, And then they say they are more. And I say, we have a religion. It's Islamism. That's God and man is one. Anything outside yourself is true shirk. When I say Islam, I'm I self knowing master. When I say Allah, that's arm, leg, arm, head. When I say YHWH, I'm symbolizing man. When I'm breaking down the signs and the symbols. So how can a religious Muslim, black Muslim, when he say he's black, and I say, well, if you understand etymology, you're not the black man. We are the Asiatic man. Somebody else is the black man. And if we're going to agree on principle and science, and that's just a fact. No way I will go around saying I'm the black man, because I'm not. I am the Asiatic man. They tricked you with the words Asia. And when I talk about the uniting of Asia, the uniting of the copper colored races, this is what the prophet is talking about. So when a brother try to talk that religious stuff, that black Muslim, and talk that white man, this, that white man stuff, I say, well, it ain't no white and no black man per se. And then when a person starts talking this stuff outside of themselves, knowing well, I'm like, I have all your paper. I know a lot of imams. They say they believe in the Bible. And they say they believe in the truth in the Bible. And you know it. That's one of the Act Ones. They say they believe in the Bible and the truth in the Bible, but it's being tampered with. And it must be taught by the elite. They say it. I'll pull a paper out. I have them. So y'all don't come to me with no lies. They say that you say it in your Nation of Islam paper, Act 1. We believe in the truth of the Bible. But it's been tampered with, and it must be read or interpreted by elite or a person with that science. Y'all know that. Y'all know that's the truth. And then they Act 12, which I don't rock with, because we'll bury our own prophets that look like us and then get amnesia when you coming on a religious perspective. But whatever, that ain't my battle. I'm not here for that. Then you say that since 1930, Farah Muhammad is the Messiah for Maida, the Muslims, and the Christians. Since 1930. So you can ask them, okay, well, who was the Messiah before 1930? Because they believe in the truth of the Bible. I bet you they ain't gonna say who, but you know who. You should have your reason. You know who it is. You know who it is. So why would somebody, that's why I'm saying this is idiotic. Like, this is the craziest thing I ever seen. It don't make sense when a person talk about all these, oh, you believe in this white man stuff. Show me in the biblical scriptures where it says Jesus or the Yahshua was white. Show me. And if we want to just deal in that context, I can show you all of them scriptures. Those were people for the continent of Africa, the Kibalan, the Asiatics. I can show you the copper colored races. We can trace the genealogy. We can trace the genealogy, but I can show you in the Bukhari Hadith if you want to get into that stuff, because I know you ain't read. It breaks down all Muhammad slaves. It talk about you, call you a raisin head. If you dream of an Asiatic woman, it's an evil omen. In the Bukhari Hadith, I done broke that down plenty of times. Plenty of times. So what we talking about? We're being misinterpreted by people. And then if we wrote the holy books, why would you even let somebody come with religion and knowing they ain't read or studied nothing to synchronize it, let you tell you something? And then I can get a European potentate to sit right here and tell you and say the feds come from West Africa, which I'm going to break down too, because we ain't even done. I'm going to break all the books down. The Turks, they adopted it for their uniform, part of their uniforms. Go on my YouTube page, Noble. Come on my YouTube page, please. So we're going to deal with scholarship, but we're not going to play around. You got to remember, people adopted things. So if you adopt something, that means it comes from a home. This is simple. This is simple stuff, man. People, when they went places, they saw it. So they wanted to identify it. Identify it like that. This is the thing that we got to understand, Morris. So let's build. I'm going to break some history. I'm going to break some more world history down to you. I'm going to break some history down to you some more. Go to my YouTube page, Noble. Among the 6,500 books sold to Congress by Jefferson in 1815. I ain't even broke this down. Y'all see the more in the back? Because every time they had the more, you had the scientist, you had the person that knew something. Just like when I talk about Angelo Solomon, when I told y'all he was a companion, and when one of the European princes became royalty, he had to seek out Angelo Solomon to educate his children. You see the royal Moor. This ain't no slave. This ain't no slave right here. Not this Moor. So anyway, Among the 6,500 books sold to Congress by Jefferson in 1815 to replace the Congressional Library that had been destroyed when the British burned the Capitol during the War of 1812, and was translation of the Quran by George Sales. Sales' translation included more than 100 pages of notes written from a Christian perspective, included advice on how Muslims might be converted. Okay, blah blah blah. But let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Let me wipe my face. Yeah. Y'all should be done with liars coming with that stuff, man. We should want to be lied to. What we doing is illuminating the teachings. We're supposed to correct the teachings. If we are the teachers, that's what we're doing. Because I tell y'all, they read from a different book. You know what book they read from? The books I have. I promise you this. Ask any educator, ask any scholar. I bet you they agree with me 100%. Guaranteed. I guarantee they agree with me 100%. Hey, man. We talk about scholarship. So let's deal with scholarship, because we should be educated by our own brothers and sisters. I told y'all, real scholars agree as one. I guarantee you my information, you could take it to any university and write on it and in history, and you will get an A++. So watch, after I show you how to reference it. After I show you how to reference it the right way and give credit to the author. I guarantee you, if your kid wrote a paper on war history and really what happened, and I give them the history, they'll get an A++, a standing ovation. And I guarantee the teacher will want to talk to them after class. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So let's finish. While Jefferson was serving as the U.S. ambassador to France, the Betsy, a merchant brig, was captured on October 1784 by Moroccan corsairs. Research who Moroccan corsairs are. Then you'll start connecting the language. Because I say, man, in different times they use different words. And if you can't synchronize them, you're going to be throwing yourself all over. You're going to think they be talking about somebody else. That's why I'll be laughing. I'll be like, my. I'm like, how little is our linguistics? And we call ourselves scholars. My. That's sad. I told y'all this is a work. This is a science. So, after Spain's foreign minister, Jose Muñoz y Redondo, negotiated the release of the captured ship and crew, Spain advised the United States to follow their course of action and pay tribute to Berber Muslims. Did y'all just hear what I just said, Morris? And pay tribute to Berber Muslims. But see, they always try to throw Muslims in there to throw you off. They know they want to say Moors. I'm telling y'all, man. And then when you start seeing who the so-called pirates are and what they look like, you'd be like, these are Moors. And then when you start looking at history in the 1599 Geneva Bible, they'll start putting Blackamoor on it, same people. But to the Berber Muslims, to prevent further attacks. Why? Because you coming on their land. Watch, let's finish teaching. I hope y'all connect these dots. Months after the Betsy was captured, 2 additional American ships were seized and their crew of 21 men was enslaved by Algerian corsairs. Now listen to me. Watch this. Let me show you how I just broke 2 people down. Y'all heard I just broke 2 people down. Let's go back. Let's reverse. Y'all ready? I went back and told you a merchant brig was captured on 11 October 1784 by Moroccan corsairs. Corsairs. Ding, 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 ding. Corsairs. 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 Now, let's fast forward. I'm going to get to the other part. I'm crazy. I told you I have fun with the education when I teach. Now watch this. Listen to the other type of Moors. Months after the Betsy was captured, 2 additional American ships were seized, and their crew of 21 men was enslaved by Algerian corsairs. So now in one you got Moroccan corsairs, and then in the other aspect you got Algerian corsairs. Somebody talk to me, man. Somebody talk to me. So what? Come on, man. Come on, Morris. See, remember when wisdom comes, you had that aha moment, that light bulb supposed to have been off. Man, y'all supposed to be like ding, the halo supposed to come over your head. That aha moment, that illumination. Are y'all seeing what I'm demonstrating to y'all in history? We ain't even scratched the surface yet. Islam? Are y'all catching that? Moroccan corsairs, Algerian corsairs. Are y'all feeling what I'm saying? Are y'all feeling when I say linguistics? When I tell more it's linguistics, it's like, man, this is a study. Don't y'all know linguistics is a study, is a science as well? That's how they twisting y'all. That's how you get twisted. I just broke it down. They called you a Moroccan corsairs and then later Algerian corsairs. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I'm waiting for a person to say the same people. That's what I'm waiting for, the aha moment to click. Being the light, the aha, same people. We talk about linguistics and dispensations and time periods. But Ascorna Maria, commanded by the Captain Isaac Stevens, was captured off Cape St. Vincent, Portugal on July 24th, 1781. And a week later, on July 30th, 1785, the Dolphin, commanded by Captain Richard O'Brien, was captured off Cadiz, Spain. This time, Spain was unwilling to negotiate on Americans' behalf. See, this is real scholarship. You talk about we ain't more, you talk about our history come from somebody else. And their books will tell you exactly what it is. If you're a scientist, if you're a scholar, we talk about world history. Let's finish. Jefferson in 1786, along with John Adams, the U.S. ambassador to Great Britain, met with Tripoli's ambassador to Great Britain, Sidi Hada Abdul Rahim Aja. Thomas Jefferson reported the conversation to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, John Jay. We took the liberty to make some inquiries concerning the grounds on their pretensions to make war upon a nation who had done, who had done them no injury, and observe that we consider all mankind as our friends who had done us no wrong, nor had given us any provocation. But watch how what the USA do. Watch what they do when I tell y'all. They don't never be honorable or nothing. They always broke treaties. Always. And they always thought they was going to make peace with weapons. I'm telling you, think about it. This history. I'm giving you real history. This history. The ambassador answered us that it was founded on the laws of their prophet, that it was written in their Quran, that all nations who should not have acknowledged their authority were sinners, that it was their right and duty to make war upon them wherever they could be found, and to make slaves of all they could take as prisoners, and that every Muslim who should be slain in battle was sure to go to paradise. Y'all hear that? He said also that the man who was the first to board a vessel had one slave over and above his share, and that when they sprang the deck of the enemy ship, every sailor held a dagger in each hand and a third in his mouth, which usually struck such terror into the foe that they cried out for a quarter at once. Thomas Jefferson decided to send representatives to Morocco and Algeria. Y'all listening? To try to negotiate the treaties and to secure the freedom of the captured sailors. Now watch this. I'm not even going to go back to it. I'm not even going to call you something else. Listen to this. Each of the four Berber Muslims. Now you a Berber Muslim. Same people. Now each of the four Berber Muslim states. Each of the four Berber Muslim states demanded 60,000. The envoy, however, were only given a budget of 40,000. Diplomatic negotiations to reach an amount for tribute for the ransom of the captured sailors bogged down. The crews of Maria and Dolphin remained in captivity for over a decade and were soon joined by other captured crews. Letters and testimonies by captured sailors described their captivity as slavery. Most captives were forced into hard labor in the service of the Barbary pirates. Now they calling you a Barbary pirate. Now they calling you a Barbary pirate. Are y'all synchronized with what I'm saying? And live in extremely harsh conditions. In 1795, now listen to this, Algeria came to an argument that resulted in the release of the 115 American sailors they held at a cost of over 1 million. The U.S. paid Algiers the ransom and agreed to pay up to 1 million per year for the safe passage of American ships. A 1 million payment in ransom and tribute to these Islamic states in the 1800s. Yeah, in the 1800s will have amounted to approximately 10% of the U.S. government's annual revenue. And you see why the European wanted to go over here in these African continents, because it's rich. And we was rich. We wasn't in no caves. That's their history. They said they grew up with dinosaurs. That's their history. In 1801, when Jefferson was president, listen to this, Tripoli demanded a massive payment from the United States and with an increased annual tribute in order to continue securing the safe passage for American ships through the Mediterranean. Jefferson refused the demand, and instead of sending the money, he sent naval warships carrying the newly created U.S. Marine Corps. This is where the line to the shores of Tripoli and the Marine Corps hymns come from. Are y'all following what I'm saying? Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? We teaching. Now we're getting ready to build, because I'm about to teach in reverse, like how y'all ever seen Quentin Tarantino movies? Watch this. Now watch this. Now I'm finna really get deep in this history. We getting ready to really get deep in the history. Go to my YouTube page, Noble. Please go to my YouTube page. Go to my YouTube page. Kari Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey. Please go to my YouTube page. Now I'm about to give y'all history. When I'm connect all this science, all this religion, everybody want to say this and that and act like their religion means something. We're gonna get with science. You should be done with all that garbage. You should be done following all the people talk about they debating something. There's nothing to debate. If you a scholar, scholars agree. So I'm gonna start off in chapters like if I was doing it in a university. That's why I said this is finna log off, y'all. My YouTube page over. My IG page over. So I'm gonna cut it back on, because some of my people, I'm still trying to condition them to go to my YouTube page. So please go to my YouTube page. So you can imagine how they are at home. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of eyewitness of the Irish priest. When I tell y'all, yeah, I hear y'all African, all that, but I keep telling y'all we were all over. We were all over Europe. We were all over. You got to come from out of just one area. We were all over, man. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is what I'm trying to illuminate, for nobody can confuse you with that fake scholarship. Your science came from you. We educated the world. This is just facts. And any scholar will tell you, white, purple, orange, green, gray, whatever. So I'm gonna start off in chapters when I talk about the missing links, the eyewitness period, the Irish priest. Write this down. Saint Brendan, Saint Brendan, the navigator, the Irish priest from Ireland. And I'm gonna show you how Europeans wrote about these people. James Anderson, 1911, The Riddles of the Prehistoric Times. Listen what he said about this priest, and I quote, "This little black Welshman, Scot, Celt, settled in France, Guanches of the Canary Islands, France, Ireland, Spain, and the British Islands, and all over Europe." Research it. Professor Wilchel Alexander, Our Remote Ancestry, 1815 to 1900, collection of the journals. Research this. These short black men came from Atlantis, Northern Africa, and they overran Europe. They were known as Britons. Research this. Roman historian Tacitus, the origins of the black Britons. The Iberians are black people with curly hair Anthropological Review Society, London, Volume 8. I'm giving y'all everything for you can research for yourself. You should be done with these goofballs. We're going to teach this. We're going to teach real history. We're going to teach real scholarship. We're going to teach real finance. We're going to have our own garden, our own temple. Watch. Joseph Rittens. Joseph, last name Ritson. The Annals, Anals of Caledonian Picts and Scots, Volume 2, page 7 and 27. The Annals of Caledonian, Picts and Scots, Volume 2, page 7 and 27. The Picts, the Brits, are brown complexion with curly hair. Ivan Van Sertima, just like when I tell y'all, they'll tell you, the 1828 Webster Dictionary said the American are the copper colored races found here by the Europeans. Y'all ain't find nothing. You just came to an area that it was already occupied. That's why when you a real scholar, when you see the doctrine of discovery, they ain't discovered nothing. That's when they conquer. Ivan Van Sertima, African presence in early Europe, page 225. The Britons look like the Ethiopians. Albert Churchward, 1912. Albert Churchward, 1912. Yep. Origins and Evolutions, pages 12 and 13. The Black Basque were exterminated from Europe. Professor Boyd Dawkins, our earliest ancestors. Boying Days, a literature developed in the public hall. Cooley, Hurst, Manchester. Colley, Hurst, Manchester. 1/8/1879. The ancient Britons, Irish, Scots are a short black people. Pages 103 and 107. Dr. Thurman, Nature Journal of Science, page 92. From the evidence at hand, it seems that the Iberian, the black man, occupied the whole of Western Europe at one time. I hope y'all writing this down. Y'all should be done with people telling you that garbage. Professor Huxley, 1870, The Iberian Race, page 332. The Iberian Biscuit black bones have been found all over Europe with his animals. See? These are all writings of Europeans, historians, to show you that our white brothers who were closer to the epicenter didn't have a problem telling the truth about the origins and the habits of Europe. I keep telling y'all. If you a scholar, it's nothing hidden. Man, Lewis and Clark wrote about you when they traveled the world. They wrote down exactly what they saw. These Welshmen, Britons, Irishmen, Frenchmen, Russians, Germans. When I talk about Alex Pushkin, he was a Moor. Italians and Swedes were in Europe thousands of years before the English arrived in 449 AD. And this will be proven by the writings of another professor, Boyd Dawkins, professor of geology at Manchester University. And Professor Boyd Dawkins was invited to speak in the public hall in Manchester Library, January 18th, 1879. Excuse me. And in this lecture, he gives a detailed account of the people who originally inhabited Europe. And without blushing, this is what he said. Professor Boyd Dawkins, professor of geology, Manchester University, London, 1879. Our remote ancestry, page 95 to 106. And I quote, Moors. Man, y'all should have skin bubbling off y'all because your children should know this. That's why I said, help me create this Moorish school, this Moorish university, this Moorish academia, for our babies can have scholarship, for they can be proud of who they are, for they can be proud to be a Moorish American. We ain't got to follow no individual person. Man, we were Moors before a lot of people. This is the science, and we don't give our science and our craftsmanship to no one. But the original people of Britain, France, Spain, and England were short black men of about 5 feet inches in height. They were in England when our fathers, the white English, invaded the land in 449 AD. Our fathers were a warlike people who by 607 AD, had pushed the Basque west into Wales, Cumberland, Westmoreland, the Highlands of Scotland and Devon. These black people boasted that they were the citizens of the Roman Empire. The Welsh or ancient Britons were in possession before the Romans ever came here. And these black Basque Britain have brought the knowledge of the iron and the bronze with them. The iron and the bronze technology will be proven perfectly when I show you the German tapestry. Watch. These people were herdsmen. They possessed the short-horned ox, the horned sheep, the goat, pig, and the horse. And evidence of their civilization can be seen all over the continent of Europe, as well as throughout the Britain Islands, extending as far as Germany and Switzerland Moors, and even to France and Spain Moors, and true light seekers. These black people originated from Iberia Peninsula and are a fragment of the old Spanish population. Yeah. They were in France, Spain, Ireland, Britain, and Scotland. One of the techniques like I like to employ when detailing research and peer-reviewed scholarly research is try to get as close to the point of the event as I can. And in this case, y'all, Professor Boyd was right there, and he mentioned seeing the specimen of the black Basque from different parts of Europe, and states that if you laid them next to each other, you would not be able to tell one course from another, Moors. And the purpose of this science, what I'm giving y'all, Moors, is to prove in the beginning that the historians, Moors, of the 18th and the 19th century had no problem describing the blackness of the early Europeans. The blackness of the early Europeans. The blackness of the early Europeans. The blackness. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? See, y'all be so stuck in Africa hey, didn't Mike Tyson fight Frank Bruno? Yes or no? Y'all remember when Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno, right? Yes or no? Watch this. Do y'all remember when Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno Moors? Yes or no? Talk to me. This is how we gonna learn. Did y'all remember when Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno? Yes or no? Come on, it's other people. Do y'all remember when Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno? Where was Frank Bruno from? Where was Frank Bruno from, y'all? What was Frank Bruno? Okay, you about to learn today, Noble. You about to learn today on my YouTube page, Noble. Come on my YouTube page. Who was Frank Bruno, Morris? Come on, let's dig. Who was Frank Bruno? I just told y'all, listen to what I say. The purpose of this science I'm trying to give y'all is to prove in the early beginning that the historians of the 18th and the 19th century had no problem describing the blackness of the early Europeans. Frank Bruno fought Mike Tyson. Research this. Frank Bruno fought Mike Tyson. Frank Bruno was from Britain. Frank Bruno was from France. Y'all want to say the black dude? He was a Moor. He was from Europe. He was from Europe. And that's why I be telling people, you talk about a European, just because a person say they're from Europe don't mean they Albion. That's why I'll be like, man, your science must be corrected, and it's okay to correct your science. That's just like saying everybody that's born in the continent of Europe is a pale skin. That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. Research it. Where Frank Bruno and what flag he represented and where he was from. Where Lennox Lewis was from. I mean, that's why I'll be like, when people talk about Europe, I say, okay, man, are y'all tripping? Like, we were all over. You got to get that out of Africa stuff out your head and get into scholarship. When I show you, we were all over the Netherlands, all over the world, and deal with scholarship. And when you can do that, you will see it's a big world. Hell, the Moors ruled Spain for 800 years, Moors. Are y'all following me? England is Europe. England is Europe. I don't care where a certain area you go. We talk about Europe, period. I don't care what little specific area you pick. Hell, that's what I'm trying to tell Moors. So, Benjamin Franklin, Professor Boyd Dawkins, and Albert Churchward gave us an eyewitness account of the world order in their generation. Dr. Albert Churchward eyewitness account gives us a grim description of what happened to the black presence in Europe. The good doctor stated that the blacks became extinct or exterminated by the time he gave his lecture in 1912 to the Royal Society in London. It is of extreme importance that we begin this discussion in this science with the eyewitness accounts of the English historians concerning the Old World Order. The Old World Order is replacing the world white. I'm telling y'all, this is history. I keep telling y'all, they have a different book. They read from the book I have. It has become obvious to me in this science that the ancient, medieval, and the early 20th century historians were describing the Old World Order in their respective generations. And these historians described a world in which the blacks were in power all over the earth. And from this vantage point, I'm going to show y'all forward into the future to see the secrets of the past. I'm going to show y'all the Scottish King of England. I'm going to show y'all image location in the New College Library in Edinburgh, UK. I keep telling y'all, man, a lot of stuff is locked up in the libraries in Europe, like Cambridge and Oxford. I told you, I have elders there. That's how I got a lot of science. I got a lot of stuff in the museums, and I ain't even broke them out yet. You know? Let me block this dude, man. Talk about some more citizenship. And that's what I be telling, man. I don't know what people be talking about. Dude hit me up to talk about just reaching out to inquire about an application for some Morrison citizenship. I don't do that crap. I don't do no crap like that. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean to say, hold on. I don't do no mess like that. Hold on. Let me block this cat. Because he should know better than that. All the stuff I say about that, you're going to talk about just reaching out to inquire about the application for more citizenship. Man, stop. Stop. That don't even make sense. All the stuff I be teaching, you're going to talk about you reaching out to me for, I don't nationalize you. That's crazy. No, hell no, Noble. No, I can't. That's fraud. I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm responding to somebody right now. That's fraud. And if you knew, you see what I'm saying? That's why I be saying more should study. And y'all know I've been saying this forever. And you're gonna reach out to me with that garbage? No disrespect, but I'll be telling you, I know frauds. I ain't got time for that. Come on, man. We should know better than that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy for you. And I should call you out because you've been on my page and all this. I should call. That's what I'm saying. And then people talk about they call themselves gangsters and all this. Man, go on with that, man. That's garbage. Talk about gangster more and all that, man. Oh, man. I don't do that. So you got the wrong more for that, y'all. Sorry about that, man. Let me get back to where I'm sorry about that, y'all. But come on, man. You can't come to me like that. That's craziness. That's craziness, man. And I can tell you, I ain't no scam artist. Now just imagine if you would have been reaching out to somebody else with that garbage and they'd be like, yep, I can do that. Yep, send me this. And they print you some whole bunch of fake stuff. And I said, that's what y'all be wanting? Like, are you crazy? And that's what I'll be telling y'all, man. This the stuff that we get. This is the stuff that I get every day. Every day. We got to educate ourselves, and y'all should be sharing the same message when y'all see that. It shouldn't only be a few individuals that love the truth. We all should be standing strong when people come with that crap. But the Scots King of England, this image is located in the New College Library in Edinburgh, UK. And a lot of people don't know that the image of a so-called Black King James, it can be a little confusing to this westernized education. But it's the truth. My YouTube page, James, go on my YouTube page, Noble. Please go to the YouTube page. And that was the reason I paraded all of the English historians and professors before I even started talking about this science. I gave you all the European professors that agreed to what I'm saying. Because I had to show you that real scholars agree to what I'm saying. And King James came a long line of black Scottish Stuarts. They were kings, 343 years of rulership in Scotland. And the Stuarts not only ruled in Scotland, they ruled France and Spain, Ireland, England, the Britons, the Wales. King James was able to rule all of these lands because all of these people were of Iberian or black descent, and they were the same people. I told y'all it was a whitewashing in history. Wait till I show y'all, especially how when they was burning people and babies in history, and it's in all in their books and their research. But they were the same people. When I show you the picture of it, if you look at the ball in his hands, I'm gonna show you the ball in his hands, it represents world rulership. And there was only one other group of world leaders who used this type of symbolism, and they were the Byzantine Roman emperors. Watch. When I be showing y'all, Moors don't be seeing signs and symbols and stuff that mean rulership, and we give our signs to somebody else. Hey, hold on. Let me try to. I'm gonna try to turn my. All right, I'm back. I had to turn my lights up, y'all. Had to turn the lights up. Had to turn the lights out. But you saw that in his hand? It represents rulership. And remember, they told the English that they were the Roman citizens. And this is proof, man. There was another man who made the same boast. And if you have wisdom, you know who I'm talking about, Moors. And this is one of the signs of scholarship, when you are able to read the symbolism of images. And in my science and in my research as a scholar, I found out that the ancient Scottish was a tribe from northeastern Ireland, which means the Scots are really Irish. So if I have seen an ancient Scot, I have seen an ancient Irishman. And if I have seen an ancient Irishman, then I have seen the ancient Briton. I mean, you had Scottish kings all through history. But as you see, look, you had all these Scot kings in history. All this stuff can be it's in the Library of Congress. These are the books that they read from. And they give you propaganda and cross their fingers and say, I hope none of their scholars really educate. As you can see, man, these Scottish kings listed in King James I of England were the descendant of the black Scottish kings who claimed the thrones of France, Spain, Ireland, England, Britain, Wales, and Scotland. And in order to reinforce the testimony of one of the professors by the name of Professor Boyd Dawkins, I'm also going to give you the image of the other Stuart kings of Scotland. I'm going to show you our King Charles I of the Scots and Englands, and the image is located in the Book of Leviation. The Book of Leviation. Author is Thomas Hobbes, 1651. So you can research this stuff for yourself. You don't have to listen to nothing I say. You have to listen to nothing I say. I'm giving you the reference. I'm giving you reference where you can look it up yourself. I'm giving you reference. King Charles, this is why I'm showing y'all how when you letting somebody tell you everything fake, and I say, we are the people of the book. You just not on no scholar perspective. You on some religion. King Charles I had the unlucky distinction of having his head cut off by the English, the Europeans, no disrespect subjects in his realm. King Charles I wasn't the only one to suffer the indignation. When the English overran the country, they hung and decapitated the men, raped the women, burned the citizens at the stake, and dashed the children against stones. This is a bit of history that is not taught nor reported in the annals of the world history. I'm going to show y'all some more. I'm going to show y'all the Scottish King Alexander II in 1198 AD. And you can find this in a location of the artifact, myfamilyclans.com. And then I'm going to show you another image of the King Malcolm Longneck, King of Scotland, 1040 to 1093 AD. And this image is located in the Getty Image and the Holton Archives. I'm going to show y'all how to research. A lot of stuff can be found in the National Archives. See, so we ain't going to play. I'm telling y'all, the real scholars, they study from the same books I have. I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. You don't got to believe nothing I say. A lot of the pictures I have, when I was getting them, You probably can't see them. And so I asked him more, do we have the book? Write this down. It's called Oliver Cromwell, New Perspectives. And I asked him, do we know what that science is all about? And he was like, yeah, man, it's this, and that, and the other. I said, well, you definitely can't read it. You ain't read it. Because in it showed the beheading of Charles I from Psalm League Covenant. And then it showed the images of Scottish King Charles I from Patrick Little's Oliver Cromwell in perspective, in the science. I mean, it's right in the research. And that's why I said I know Moors don't be reading and researching. They just be flipping through pictures of the books because it be right in the science. And I'll break it down, I'll show you. Oliver Cromwell, I'm telling you all the stuff that they did. A lot of stuff is wrapped up in religion and masonry. You don't have to believe me. All you have to do is get the science and read it for yourself. This image is the actual eyewitness account of the Black King Charles I, King of the Scots, who was being prepared to be beheaded by the English. And these are things that the pictures was pulled off canvases to show you the face, but it'd be kind of hard when you pulling stuff off canvases. Don't look like no European to me. Look at the hair. And if you can get on the National Archives, if you can pull them up, the canvases, you can look at it yourself. I'm telling you, man. And I also suggest that you read. And I also suggest that you read. Hold on, no. And I also suggest that you read one of these two books to get a better feel for what happened to the Irish. I just told y'all the book to get. Oliver Cromwell, New Perspectives. You got to have that. These two books and get a better feel for what happened to the Irish, Scots, and the British during the terror of Oliver Cromwell. I'm telling you. King Charles II, King of the Scots. Location of this image. You can find them on websites, in the Britain websites and things. All over certain scholarship websites. I'm telling you, man, they put it right in your face because they know we're not going to research. The sons of King Charles I, and whose nickname was Black Boy. Why would a European call himself Black Boy? It don't even make sense, y'all. He was the king of England and Wales, France, Scots, Iberian, Spain, and Ireland. It is important that we begin to dialogue about this history that is currently being taught in these so-called schools of higher education, Moors. And this dialogue cannot simply end at the governmental level. We must also include the churches in this dialogue, because I'm a firm believer that when the educational systems and when the educational institutes of the world fail the people, it is the church's responsibility, because that's all we had. It is the temples. If we're going to say we Moors, it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility. And I need the people help. And that's why I'm going to continue to educate. We can have our real infrastructure. We got to fill a gap. People go to all these churches and all these temples for the wrong reason. They just go to feel good about themselves. But you shouldn't go to church or no temple to increase. You should go to increase in knowledge, to continue to grow the muscle of your mind and not your body. There should be a trade-off between the congregation and the so-called minister and the so-called sheik. And as the intellectual growth of the congregation or the people of the body begins to increase, it should accelerate the intellectual growth of the minister. So what I'm trying to say, y'all, your preacher, your teacher, your sheik should continue to get smarter. And if he or she doesn't, then your minister, your sheik is not fit to lead you, man. Now we're going to examine the events surrounding the disappearance of these black people. And every good book needs a bad guy. And the bad guy in this science I'm going to give is Oliver Cromwell, the protector of the crowns of England. They call this guy the protector of the three crowns. But was he really? When you start pulling a European story back, you be like, all your story is wrapped up in murder and death and killing. Who you fooling? If you are the protector of the crowns, then you don't execute the king and his subjects. And that's why when you try to do history, but when you start doing history with the Europeans, church and religion, it becomes a fact of the matter. And this was some type of church scheme. And it appears from the verbiage or the wording of the Solemn League, the covenant, and the introduction to the original King James Bible that the three kingdoms, Britain, Ireland, and Scotland, were opposed to the popes and catechism. It appeared that the contrary to what you heard, King Ames, IAMES, was not a Catholic, No was Ireland, Scotland, and Britain. Britain, Brit-A-I-N. See, the two words mean something important, y'all. So when you get a concordance, I want y'all to get a concordance and look up the word A-I-N, suburb of Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. And then use the internet or whatever you use to see what the word Brit, B-R-I-T means. It means covenant in the original Hebrew dialect. And in the original King James Bible, the King James spelled his name I-A-M-E-S. So why would he do that, Morris? Let's do some linguistics. The letter I is the Hebrew letter Zayin, Z-A-Y-I-N. Not only did King James use Hebrew letters to spell his name, he also nicknamed himself Jacob, right? The Jacobites of the covenant. This is the image of the Solomon League covenant, 1643, engraved, W. Huller. See, we got documents. See, when a person just be talking, I can give you all documents, all out of the Library of Congress. Even when you talk about the Jacobites of the Covenanters. But in order to gain a clear picture, Morris, of the people who came into the captivity, one must give this group careful consideration and respect. And a document has surfaced called the Solemn League Covenant. Research it. The Solemn League Covenant. And when you research it, I'm going to break down some points in that document. Watch. The image of King James of the Scots, you can research him in a New College Library in Edinburgh, United Kingdom, right here. You can pull this up right in the Edinburgh Library in the United Kingdom. You don't got to let nobody tell you no stuff. Listen to this. After Cromwell had executed King Charles I and ravaged the three kingdoms, the Jacobites tried to restore the Black Stuarts king to power. They were known as the Jacobites. One shall name himself Jacob, and another shall name himself Israel. You are going to see statements like this throughout this science. But I'm trying to show you another audience, and they knew who they were. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. You got to remember that the Solemn League document was a subtle way of the three kingdoms to actually take a census, because the people had to sign their names and give personal information. And it looks like the kingdom was recording the kingdom before some great tragedy occurred. Taken by the House of Commons, September 25th, 1643, Rushworth, 478. See the Great Civil War, 229 to 236. A solemn league and covenant for reformation and defense of religion, the honor and happiness of the king, and the peace and the safety of the three kingdoms of England, Scotland, and Ireland. We noblemen, barons, knights, gentlemen, citizens, burgesses, ministers of the gospel, and the commons of all sorts of the kingdoms of the England, Scotland, and Ireland, by the providence of God, living under one king, and being of one reformed religion, having before our eyes the glory of God, blah, 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 and calling to the mind treacherous and bloody plots, conspiracies, and attempts to practice the enemies of God. So they was using this religion to kill. Let me keep going. I'm gonna show y'all, this is an image of Richard Cameron, a Covenanter. But as you can see, they tried to paint his face white, and it looks like a mask. But if you look around the edges, you can see this man was a black Irishman. You can look him up on the National Archives. You can look him up. I told you in a period of history, they tried to whitewash everything. When I go to my storage unit, I'm gonna get my book, Russian Icona by Vladimir Ivanov. It's gonna show you everything. I got a greater witness. Watch this. I'm gonna keep just busting your head with more facts. Watch this. The Solemn League Covenant, humbly beseeching the Lord to strengthen us by his Holy Spirit for the end, and to bless our desires in proceeding with such success, as many be deliverance and safety to his people, and the encouragement to the Christian churches groaning under the danger of the yoke of anti-Christian training, to join the same or like associations and covenant, the glory of God, the enlargement of the kingdom of Jesus Christ, and the peace of the tranquility of the Christian kingdoms and commonwealths. Now, this is the point I'm trying to give y'all. Listen, the kings of Scotland, Ireland, and Britain are calling the Pope and the Catholic institutions Antichrist. It appears that the Jacobites, the Jakes, and the Covenanters were walking in the commandments of God of Israel. And there is another reason why we say this. When Constantine went to ratify the Sunday worship law in 323 AD, it has been recorded that the delegates came from around the world. And it appears they were trying to compete with the worldwide Sabbath that occurred on the day of Pentecost. So we can go back to Constantine Moors when he arrived in Nicaea to ratify the change of the Sabbath to Sunday. The only nations that refused to send a delegate or attend was British Isles. And the British Isles were Ireland, Scotland, and Britain. England. All of these nations was black until the white English invasion in 449 AD. This is just a fact, man. Ship Henry Francis of the Newcastle departed Leith in 1685, arrived in Berth, New York. Research that. The British Isles and the Sabbath. The historian James Moffat. The Scottish have a long history of keeping the Sabbath. Page 140. Catholic historian T. Radcliffe Barnett. The Scots kept the Sabbath as some traditional Irish customs. So to understand the hidden dynamics of this great mystery, Moors, you got to understand, I had to bring up this Sabbath information. You got to understand about this. When Cromwell departed the black Irish, the Scots, and the British, and the Welshmen, that he was actually sending into the captivity the covenant keepers. And this is where the nickname Jacobites and covenants came from. And not only were these guys Sabbath keepers, Moors, but there was a certain prophecy that they satisfied in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28, 64 and 68. The prophecy said, "And you shall go back into Egypt on ships to be sold as bondsmen and bondswomen, and you shall not see the land again." I will get back to this science, Moors, but I want to wrap your mind around the imagery. Judah was coming into the slave trade from West Africa, and the blacks from Ireland, Scotland, and Wales were coming in the slave trade from Europe. We have two different groups of blacks being fused together and dumped into the slave colonies as one people. When I start showing y'all maps and things, right, Moors? Talk to me, man. From this map, watch, I'm gonna show you this map and I'm gonna show you stuff. So y'all talk to me. Say, Islam, this is real history, this prehistory. Y'all see this map? Watch this. From this map, you can see that the original name of the slave coast was the Kingdom of Judah. I showed y'all yesterday how Judah had 4 names. And the left of Judah was the Asante or Ashanti. The Ashanti in their history state that they were the tribe of Levi. Right, Moors? The Ashanti in their history state that they were the tribe of Levi. Y'all know that, right? I hope y'all know that. It's a publication from Louisiana State University called The Creole New Orleans. I gave that to y'all yesterday, in which the author writes on page 67 that 6 ships came from Judah, landing 464 slaves at the mouth of the Mississippi. And on page 69, he states that all the nations of Europe had a port at Judah. But as great as the publication is, the writer didn't possess the knowledge that on those same boats were 2 groups of black slaves. One group from West Africa and another group from Europe, right? Remember, the Jacobites or the covenant keepers were on the same boat. And I'm gonna make this plain as I get deeper into science. See, Morris, the entire world acknowledged the presence of the West Africans that came into North Atlantic slave trade, but the world appears to be ignorant of the blacks that came out of Europe. And when you are through with this science, when you deal with these facts that I'm giving y'all in this research, you will be walking around with one of the greatest secrets of the generation. I'm gonna give you further proof that the Scots are here. 5,000 Scots have lived America and found Canada. Scots migrated to Illinois, Ohio, Iowa, Kansas, Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia Sentinel of 1879. Articles below. Article, the Scottish, the Irish in America, 1896. Article, the Scottish, Irish in America, 1906. The magazine editor, Herbert Casson. Article below, the Sons of the Scotland in America, 1906. Author Henry George Ford. The book, The Scottish Irish in America, 1915. Author George Fraser Black's book, Scotland's Mark of America, 1921. So once I realized that the Scots and the Irish were written about extensively, Moors, in the 19th and the 20th century, you got to think that their omission in modern history could be an honest mistake. And once in this science that I'm giving y'all, we should get a better feel for academia's true intentions concerning world history. Man, I ain't even deep in the science yet. When we talk about Oliver Cromwell, history records that after the execution of Charles I of Scotland and England, that Oliver Cromwell invaded Scotland, killed 4,000 men and took 10,000 captives. For some inexplicable reason, it took Cromwell 1 year to end the war in Scotland. What I know for certain is that he deported the Scots to American colonies, and these black Europeans were sent to Barbados, Boston, Charlestown, Cambridge, Concord, Hingham, Ipswich, Virginia, Newark, and the southern plantations. And these are the facts, Moors. These Scottish blacks are among us and the Americans, and we are ignorant of their existence, as well as they are, Moors. It has been reported that in the African American community, a lot of blacks have Scottish and Irish last names. When I show y'all the Scottish coats of arms, I mean, all this stuff ain't no mystery. The Scottish coats of arms. This stuff is in their libraries. This in their libraries. Family crest of Andrews, Colmer, Edinburgh, Grootham, Mayer, Minnie, Moore, St. Lo, Wilden, Whittingrong, Wooten. Where this at? In the Fairbairn Book of Crest, the plate 135. I'm telling you, they know. The black coats of arms, as you probably know, was found in Scotland, Europe. It has been written that Andrew, the chief of the clan, rendered homage to King Edward I of England in 1296. And the purpose of this image that I just showed y'all is to reinforce the writings of the historians that the original people of Europe were black, per se, that were Asiatic hue. Color is only being mentioned for the sake of identifying a people among us, that's it, who don't know who they are. So let's stop for a moment and make the statement that insincere, Moors. Civilizations has come and gone, no matter what the color. But one thing that we got to mention, and one thing that I have come to understand, is that to the victor goes the land and the identity, Moors. Remember that. And the Scottish blacks were driven out of Scotland. The English, the white English, moved into the empty land and confiscated their property. That's right, Noble. That's right. You see how I'm building? Exactly. You see how you see how your light bulb came on and you just figured that out? So why are you gonna let somebody tell you to get rid of your last name? That's what I'm saying. We starting to think now, Noble. Islam. We moved into empty lands and confiscated our property and took their identity. And this concept is not as ridiculous as you might think. The same thing happened to the Jews of the Bible. I'm telling y'all, that's right, Noble. And the same thing happened to the Jews of the Bible. When you get some time to read the book of the prophet Obadiah, remember I broke that down to you when I showed y'all that the original Jews are the Igbos and the Igbos, and every European scholar know that genetically. And I showed y'all that, I synchronized that a long time. The prophet states that when the Chaldeans invaded Judah and took them captive, that the Edomites moved into Judah and began to call themselves after the original inhabitants of the land. And you are probably thinking to yourself that this is possible. But it is really, Moors. You got to think in the box for a moment. When the English came to America, there was an indigenous people here already called the Indians. Read the 1828 Webster Dictionary. American is a copper-colored race is found here by the Europeans. Come on. They misnomered you as Indians. The land was filled with us. Once the copper-colored races were driven out of the land, the Europeans, don't get me wrong, or the Albions, or the English confiscated the land and took on their names. Just like when a European defeated the general Africanus, the Carter general, he took the Abney. So after they defeated him, he took the name Africanus. Y'all know that. I built on that plenty times. The English began to call themselves Americans, and so do you. Think about it. When Oliver Cromwell enslaved and deported the Irish, the Scots, and the Brits out of the land, he gave the land to his soldiers under the Land Confiscation Act. Research the Land Confiscation Act, Morris. It was said that he did this because he couldn't afford to pay his soldiers. I'm telling y'all, Oliver Cromwell in Ireland. Oliver Cromwell was Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Ireland, and Scotland. And after the assassination of the Scots, or the Scottish, and the English King Charles I, upon taking military command of the Commonwealth, he invaded Ireland. And history states that he committed genocide in Ireland against the black population. Research it. The black Irish that he did kill, he sold into slave trade. And in 1641, Cromwell had 300,000 black Irish sold into North Atlantic slave trade. And in the 1650, he had 100,000 Irish Scotch children sold into the Barbados. And there is an interesting law that Cromwell had published, and it reads, and I quote, Oliver Cromwell Edict, 1653, those who fail to transplant themselves to Connaught or Clare within 6 months shall be guilty of high treason. You will then be sent into the America or some other part beyond the sea. The Royal African Company sent 249 ships to the West Indies, sending 60,000 African and Irish into the Americas and the West Indies. So make no mistake, Moors. It is these people are here in this colony with us. And America is a huge colony spread out over 50 states. And we have all been mingled together. I got even more proof. The Irish coats of arms, the family Gilbert crest. Here go the family Gilbert crest. Man, I can keep going forever. The image of a black Irish coat of arms from the Gilbert family. 3 of the Gilberts related to this coat of arms have been traced to Barbados. Thomas Gilbert, Barbados, 1635. Francis Gilbert, Virginia, 1736. And Robert Gilbert, Barbados, 1678. The timeline fits with the eyewitness account of the Irish being shipped into the slave trade. But I got even more proof. Watch this. Watch this when I show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all pictures, and when I start showing y'all the original documents, it's gonna blow your mind. It says The Black Irish of Jamaica by Joseph J. Williams, PhD. Now let somebody tell you a lie now. Come on, man. Islam. Y'all should be Islam. Islam, talk to me. You see how we're gonna destroy these people talk about they scholars? This is simple scholarship. Simple. And you're going to get the science up, and I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you who the original Turks are. I'm telling you, man, I ain't even scratched the surface. The Irish and the Scots are the same people. The Scots are a tribe from Northeast Ireland. This book was written by a Jesuit priest, John J. Williams. Man, look, matter of fact, let me see something. Man, remember I showed y'all? I'll have to show it later. When I just build about how that sign was passed out to all the nations of Islam, and I show you how in all of the Jesuits letters, all in there, all the Jesuits letters in there. But this book was written by a Jesuit priest, John J. Williams, and was published in 1932 by New York Press. And in the book, John described the black Irish that were deported into slavery in Jamaica as black people. As black people. And these pictures you see on this page are images of some of the Irish children. I'm telling you. And I got the book. I wanted to show you the entire front cover of the book so that you could have it for a reference. There are some of black Irish that came here on slave ships directly from Europe. The Scots, Irish, or Welsh, Britons are the same people. And according to Boyd Dawkins, our earliest ancestors, when the English invaded England in 449 AD, they published the Black English west into Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. Mr. Boyd Dawkins further states that by 677 AD, the whites, now called themselves English, have pushed these blacks onto a land that cannot sustain them. I told y'all, they shipped a lot of Jamaican Maroons to Nova Scotia. Whoever you are on the other side of this science, this is the real history of the world, Moors. What you have been taught and exposed to is pure nonsense. The so-called royals and the elite from a different set of books, like I told y'all. They read this type of science that I'm giving y'all, while they give you the watered down version of history. That's why they have royal libraries. They have royal libraries and they have national archives. I tell y'all, I'm gonna show you how to study. They walk around with the real wealth of the earth, the wisdom, while you walk around with a lie. Image from the book, The Black Irish. Remember, if you can't get the book, I'll get it for y'all. Image of the book is called The Black Irish. Author, Jesuit priest, J.J. Williams, published 1932. And it's an image of the 100,000 black Irish children sold into the Jamaica in the 17th century. I'm telling you. Now, you can ask anybody. Research it for yourself. And then you can tell a person to stop with them lies. We need, man, scholarship is back, man. Hanging of suspected United Irishmen. Image located in the Irish Library. The Irish History. The Irish Rebellion, 1641. And it's showing you how they hanging people. You can research their history. Image located. You know, you can look at all this, how they was, it says how they, in the library in the Irish history, 1641, how they got the babies on the pitchforks. And you can see the pictures and how they tried to attempt to white out the black Irishmen. Okay. And you can see, just like when I show y'all how the Vikings, I got a book in history, I'm gonna do it later, how they got the Vikings and how they tried to whitewash the Vikings. You know, I created a school, man. We got a school. Just like we go to the universities and we pay for that false education. We went to college and get these educations. I got them. I created a body. Just like you go to church and be members and you pay offers and tithes, the same way we're going to treat our school, because the church is supposed to be the schools. That's why I said we're tax exempt, religious, educational, scientifically, charitable. That means we can teach our own religion and spirituality. I'm here. And it does cost. When you a member, it's only offers and tithes. That don't cost you nothing when you a member. This is what I'm saying. We a body. We got the same rights as the church. It ain't nothing. You a member. You should want to donate, because the schools supposed to be the churches and the temples. When tragedies happen, we eat, we teach. That's what this is about. This is what the Irish Europeans look like. And these were the people sold into the Americas. We got to remember that the Irish were black in 1600. The Irish were black in 1600. Y'all got to remember that the Irish was black in 1600. And the problem, they want us to be rogues. And I say, listen, the church is supposed to be education. We can make this body, we can make the Burning Bush Moorish Science Temple successful. We can teach our spirituality, history, because the law say we can. This ain't no charge. This is a membership. You should want to be a member. You should want to see your body and your building and your organization grow. You can see in the pictures in their publications how they got the babies on the stakes. This is their science. Yes, we can do it. I'm telling y'all, it's strength in numbers. It's strength in numbers. The Black Earls of Ireland, Cromwell's edict, those who failed to transplant. I told you all that. But I can go so deep with the history, man. But I want to stop right there, right now. Any questions, Morris? Any questions? I mean, look at the kings in the museums. Look at what they got on the walls in the museums, man. I'm like, come on, man. We got to teach this science. We can't be letting these cats just keep lying to us with, you know, and just collecting money. Because the Jesuit letters, all of the Jesuit letters, they be telling you who you are. They know. That's why I say they wait till all this stuff over and I get my European professor that's a potentate. And he's going to come tell you, like, the feds is from you. When I tell you about all the Jesuit letters, when they tell you exactly who you are in history, and they read from what I read from. They got the science what I have. They got the science what I have. I'm telling you, they got the same science I have. This is science. It's telling you. It's no mystery. The only people that don't know your own true American history is the Negro and the so-called Negro that got a degree in African American studies. Because if you got a degree in African American studies, you don't know nothing. I told you how to fill out the census. I told y'all how to fill out the census correctly. Think about it. Remember, see, ooh, that's why I love these questions. Watch this. Watch this.
More American.
Watch what I say, Noble. When we talk about first, you must proclaim, declare, and have due process. Remember, do other sentences make sense? Do you have to? Yes or no? Remember, things can be yes or no. Remember why our prophet said, if you haven't annexed your Bay and your L to all your government ID, he told you to do that first. That's the first thing we should have done. And so the next question I'll be asking more is, have you done that? Because we have to do things the right way. We must annex our Bay and our L, because if you don't know that, your Bay and your L is attached to freedom. That's your tribal name. That's what they ain't telling y'all. And I've been saying this over and over and over. That's a form of proclaiming, declaring, and have due process. That's number one. Number two, about self-identifying. Number two, about self-identifying. Number two, about self-identifying. If I put a paper in your face and say, check which one you are, African-American, white, or Indian, and you're not on there, I know the average Negro, they might try to be slick, try to, like, they're going to outthink somebody. And I'm like, if you ain't on there, why the hell you going to fill something out? Because you know you ain't no Indian. You know your nationality is not white. And you know you're not no African-American. So when we talk about self-identifying, we talk about self-identifying. I ask you who you are, and you self-identify. You say, I'm a black man. You just self-identified as a Negro. So if I ask you who you are for the record, and you say, I'm a Moorish American, and you stand on your square with history and science, and you can prove it through laws, facts, at the 5/5 clause, that's a form of self-identifying. Nope. Let me finish. Let me finish. And I'm going to tell you. Let me finish. I promise you. Because some things you can do, sometimes you don't have to. That's why I say when I show you how to do the things the right way, and when I say when you go through the right temple, and when I show y'all my ID cards, and I show y'all we be a part of the Moorish Bureau Vital Statistics, that's that AA22 number, and we have our own form of census. That's what I be trying to tell y'all what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was doing. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali did the right thing with the laws. That's why I be telling y'all, when you nationalize through a temple, through a body that's chartered the right way, you can look yourself up to the Moorish Vital Bureau of Statistics. And then once we have 30,000 Negro, blacks, and color, and Latinos, and Mexicans that's misnomer through the temple, we take it to the war courts. That's the petition. That's the petition. That's the petition with Moors. Ain't listen. I'm like, we tripping. So filling out the census, you can, but are you a local Moor, international Moor? So the next thing I'm gonna break down. The next thing I'm gonna break down. When I talk about our declaration and proclamation, I told y'all. What do y'all think I'll be showing y'all when stuff was sent to the 41st president? When I tell y'all, when you can look up certain Moors in history, that the vineyards of this. I mean, I don't know what Moors be talking about. And then when I show y'all proof, when I show y'all the great God, the Moorish American Declaration Proclamation, dear Mr. 41st President, when it's sent to him. I mean, I show y'all this all the time. So a lot of stuff we not been educated properly on. When we say we self-identifying, because remember, you're not changing nothing. That's what our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I tell you, I say, what are you changing? You're not changing nothing. You correcting the spelling. You're correcting the pronunciation. I hope y'all know that, because your mother ain't mistakenly give you no wrong name. That don't even make sense. So the next part about it, let me break this down simply. What is your nationality? Let me get me some H2O. What is your nationality? What is your nationality? I'll be right back. You get it. I got it. Oh, this is wrong.
You want some more ice or just
water? So as we get ready to close, remember specifics. What is your nationality? What is your nationality? Come on, Moors. We gotta. What is your nationality? This is how we learn. What is your nationality, Morris? Come on, it's Morris on. What is your nationality? Moorish America, okay. What is your race?
Asiatic.
What is your race?
Asiatic.
Mom, you crazy. What is your race, Morris? Come on.
Say something, don't be scared.
What is your status?
White.
What is your status? What is your status, Morris?
I'm pink.
What is your status? What is your status? So we breaking 3 down. I said your nationality is Moorish American. Your race is Asiatic. What is your status? What is your status?
I'm gonna whoop they butt. You say it all the time.
What is your status, Morris?
Ain't nobody answering you?
I'm waiting. No. Okay. So if I just broke those down, why would you put on your sisters and they say and your nationality and you say Asiatic? It didn't ask you your race. So why would you, and see, so right there, we out of pocket. Because I said, we supposed to be specific. This is for your nationality. Your nationality is Moorish American. Your nationality is Moorish American. Your race is Asiatic. Your status is white. So if somebody asks you for your nationality and you say Asiatic, they be like, I ain't asked you your race. We know Asiatic is like in the 1828 Webster Dictionary. What is an American? A copper colored race is found here by the Europeans. That's general. But what's your nationality? What's your race? And what's your status? And so then, until we are clear on that, until we're clear and we can defend that from science and law, then we're going to continue to do things wrong. So now let me reverse and jump back to the census. How would you fill out the census if you're not on there, if you understand law? And Morris, we always talk about this UCC stuff and it's all rights reserved stuff. How would you do something if you're not on there? Because if you ain't on there, what you going to just circle something? That's what the average Negro would do. Oh, I'm going to search black. Well, I'm going to search white. And then when I say you just played yourself in a trick bag, because if you research black and white, it's the same thing. I just broke down how we was all in Europe and ancient modern Britain is us. And then when you research white and what black on the census report, and then they try to add Europe in there, they talking about you. Same people. Same people. Same people. If you want to fill it out, that's why I say if that's what you want to do, it ain't gonna mean nothing. What you think you're finna get something? Yeah, that's what I tell people. You can do whatever you want, but if you think it's going to mean something, that you can keep thinking that. If you think it's going to do, like I said, when I would never tell a person what to do, because I'll be rational with things. Like people be telling people, don't get the shot, this, don't do this. If your child gets sick right now, I bet you ain't finna take them to no more doctor. You're going to take them right to the damn hospital, and you're going to let that doctor, I don't give a damn if he white, orange, purple, green, you want them to save your baby life. So so more can miss me with the garbage. For real. We can talk all this stuff. If you get in trouble right now, you get sick, you're going right to the doctor. What you going to say? I want a Moorish doctor. Go on, man. And that's what I be saying. We don't have none. Ain't nobody educated because most of these Moors talk about they some scholars. So back to the census. If you want to, you do what you must. That's what I tell people. You do what you must. Is it going to hurt you? Would it kill you? I don't think so. Would it do something for you? What if it ain't going to do you no good and it ain't going to hurt you? Why even mess with it? Cause what you want something from the government? What you want something? You want something from the government? So we feel by you doing that, what you gonna get a treat instead of following how we can self-identify by filling out the proper petition and take it to the world courts. That's what I'm saying. We can do what we want. But why would I be hearing more talk about fill out white? So what you think you're finna get a check from the government, and then you goofball Negroes be talking about some this de facto, and these Negroes right now want $1,000 check right now because they poor and broke. Think about it. Like, and then you got more talk about check black. And then you know damn well an elementary student can tell you you're not black. And then how can you black if you know etymology? Because I'm not black. And then a more tell you to fill out black? That don't even make sense. And then another more tell you to fill out white. And then another more tell you to fill out Indian. That don't even make sense. Your status not even on there. So if your status not on there, what are we doing? We're correcting. We're correcting something. We're not changing nothing. Don't you know it's a correction if you get the answer wrong? What you're doing is you correcting the wrong answer. Why? Because it's a right answer. So we are correcting. We are correcting a mistake. We are correcting the mistake of a spelling. Are you clear? Because your freedom was attached to your B and your L. I mean, are y'all listening to me? And once we all synchronize with our B and our L, and then we do things the right way, we sign the petition. The right way. That's why I said a lot of these Moorish Science temples are done the right way. That's why with a lot of Moors talk about their Moorish Science temple, when I start showing documents, they don't know what I be talking about because they don't understand about a trust. They don't understand about a power of attorney. When I be showing them, when you are under somebody's auspices, when you are part of a trust and when you are here, you have the rights of that person to operate. Just like on the trust with my parents, when they're in Allah's hand, I have the authority to operate, to do business in their name if I'm over that estate. Y'all and more, I'll be like, we need to be educated on things and stop playing. And that's what I'm saying we have to be. Oh, so are we clear? Are we clear on certain things? When I say, yeah, you can do something, but don't let nobody tell you no dumb stuff. Don't be idiotic on no dumb stuff. Don't be stupid thinking somebody gonna make you an ID card and like that's attached to something. I'm like, what government body is that? Like the true 8822 number is about 30,000 Negro, blacks, and colored, proclaiming it and declaring it and taking it to the war courts. So you can do a lot of things on your own. You can go, didn't our prophet say if you want a European sheiks, I'll give them to you? So you can go to these local jurisdictions, but the local jurisdiction already know that you're a Moor. I told y'all, go to any local politician, go to your city hall and ask them before the Civil War what were Negro, blacks, and colored were. And they'll politely tell you more. They'll politely tell you. So I'm done, Morris. Any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Let me break this little history down. I'm gonna give you all a little history about the secret of the Fez so we can correct teachings. And I want y'all to listen to the words that I say so you can understand about when you would say something not original. And you can say, oh, you can say somebody adopted it. And when you mean that somebody adopts something, it comes from somewhere. Let's listen. Shriners and the Fez, because of the adopting. Ma, what do adopting mean? That means it came from somewhere, right, Ma? When somebody adopts something, right, Ma?
What?
When somebody adopts something.
Yeah.
So the Shriners and the Fez, because of the adopting of the Fez by the Shriners, the Freemason fraternity, the Fez is often associated with Freemason. See, that's like when a lot of Negroes saw the Fez, and y'all saw those Flintstones and all them. Y'all thought the Fez came from them. When you saw Fred Flintstones with the Fez on, you thought it was just something silly. You see? Thank you, Nope. I'm glad you said you learned more than you went to college. And that's what I be telling brothers. I'm like, how do I know? Because I've been in academia. I done been in academia. I know what I'm teaching most college students don't know. Especially when I teach y'all real history of what a so-called college student know. His African-American degree can't even hold water. Real talk. But the Fez and the Shriners of the Freemasonry, the Fez is often associated, not originated with Freemasonry, and does hold a special meaning to the Shriners and is highly regulatory. Nobles should wear their Fez at stated meetings, ceremonies, Shriners parades, special Shriners events, and other Shriners related activities. The Fez is not a bulletin board or advertisement space. The Fez is not a bulletin board or advertising space. The only pen permitted on the Fez is one that holds the tassel in place. The Fez shall be worn in the proper shape, without crushing, creasing, or alteration. A Shriner's lapel pin is to be worn on the left lapel of a suit coat or jacket, and is appropriate to be worn at all the times. The Fez owner's manual. This is the Europeans, but watch this. Shriners believe the fez to have originated in Morocco. Morocco, didn't say Turkey. That's why I said the European to tell you. And adopted it as a symbol. And adopted it as a symbol, an official headgear in 1872. The origin of the fez. Many helmet and crowns have been discovered in tombs at Ur. Remember I build on Ur and in the Bible where I showed y'all that where that's at? Africa, which date back to 2350 to 2500 BC. Remember I told y'all about the Sumerians? Remember I told y'all about the Sumerians? They wore turbans wound around the head like a cornet or a cone-shaped hat. Some were tall and contained an embroidered brim or an embroidery brim. Excuse me, y'all. I'm brr. You see that? And you gonna let somebody tell you something else? What that man got on his head? A fez. Stop playing, man. Come on, Moors. Y'all know what I'm saying is valid. Where did the fez get his name? If the fez, listen to this. Where does the fez get its name? Listen to this. If the origin is in Turkey, why is it called a fez?
Because it came from Fez.
Where's Fez at? In Morocco?
Yeah. I just called it Turk.
I mean, this is valid, man. Watch this. Let's build. The modern Fez is named after the place of its origin. Fez, Morocco. If we're going to get to modern day, but I'm going to show you all in Egypt how we all had the Fez. Founded on the east bank of the Wadi Fez in 789 CE by Mullah Idris B. Abdullah, a descendant of the Prophet who had fled from Mecca to Morocco to avoid Abbasid persecution. Fez was expanded on the West Banks. What y'all talk about when you talk about the West Banks? West Africa, man. Come on, this is simple. By his son, Idris B. Idris in 809. Fez grew under the Idris dynasty when waves of immigration from southern Spain. The actual name Fez is of French origin, but the Fez is known by many names around the world. Listen to this science. The actual name Fez is of French origin, but the Fez is known by many names around the world and is mistakenly believed to be of Turkish origin. And mistakenly believed to be of Turkish origin. Etymology, 1802, from French Fez, from Turkish FVZ, probably ultimately from Fez, the city in Morocco, where this type of tassel cap was principally made. It was made part of the Turkish official dress by Sultan Mahmud II. So you got to research when he was in rulership. The Fez is older than him. What is a fez? Noun, plural fez is a felt cap, usually the red color, having the shape of a tourniquet cone, an ornament with a long black tassel, worn by men in Egypt and North Africa, formerly the national headdress of the Turks. They adopted it for their national headdress, just like Hitler adopted it for his army, just like Leopold adopted it for his army. What the fez means in the Middle East. In the Middle East, it still matters what you wear on your head. The Sudanese have floppy turbans, the Palestinians red and black checkered kaifas, and the Saudis the white guthra. But the maroon brimless fez, once the epitome of the old world of courtesy and taste, has become for most Muslims politically incorrect, or Muslims. I'm telling you. The fez is a universal and national headdress of the ancient and modern Moors and Moorish-influenced cultures. Often the shape, style, and ornaments allow one to be able to distinguish one national headdress from another. Also, the materials available to the makers have bearing on how the fez will look and be worn. I told you about the Shriners and the fez. Because of the adoption of the fez by the Shriners, Freemason, and fraternities, the fez is often associated with Freemasonry and does not hold a special meaning to the Shriners. Nobles should wear their fez, as I told y'all. The origin of the fez. I gave y'all that. I'm gonna show y'all pictures of our toppy. It was all, I mean, look, come on, man. Don't let nobody take your science. Look at these topics. Look at these fezzes. I mean, come on, man. Are we crazy? I mean, look at Empress Delphi Kim. Look at the ancient Morphez. Look at this ancient Morphez right here. Look at that. That's a fez. Y'all know that, right? That's a fez. I'm trying to tell you. These brothers were fezzes, all Asiatics. Fezzes. Fezzes. All different fezzes. Come on, man. All over the continent. Fezzes, Asiatics, fezzes, fez, toppies. Come on, man. Sri Lanka, fez. Come on, man. I could go on and on all through history. Y'all, now watch this. Y'all see this? Now watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna make that shirt. Watch this. Watch this depiction I read to y'all. Look at all them. Look at all the Moors with all them different toppies. Look at all that. When I tell y'all, I hope y'all know the law where it says you can wear your national headdress in the courts and your turban. So watch me read this to y'all. The fez cap, though a Turkish headgear, was at the time considered to be a symbol of Muslim identity, as is suggested by the so-called Fez controversy of 1905 and 1906, when the noted Moor leader, the advocate MC Abdul Qadir, Qadir, was prohibited from entering court with the Fez, pursuant to a notice published in the local newspaper by the Fez community or the Fez committee. A largely attended representative mass meeting of the Muslims of Ceylon was held on Sunday, the 31st of December, 1905 at 4 p.m. in the open air at the Maridana Mosque grounds, Colombo, to protest against the action of the Supreme Court of the island, which prohibited Mr. Abdul Qadir from appearing in court with his usual Mohammedan headdress, the fez. Mohammedan headdress, the fez. I keep telling y'all, we Mohammedans, y'all don't understand? After demonstrating in Colombo and in other parts of the island, the Supreme Court committed the wearing of the fez in court. Groups of Ceylon Moor at Michigan Library 1190. Notice that they are wearing a mixture of Suret toppies and Turco toppies. Come on, man. This scholarship right here, man. This education. Ancient Olmec jaguar deity, which has consequently been linked to the ancient West Africa culture, according to scholars. What he got on his head and his symbol? What he got on, man? Come on, man. Y'all, come on, brothers. I'm going on in history. Ancient Cambodian, the Khmer head with the fez type head covering, which has been recently reunited with this body, according to the archaeology, a publication of Archaeology Institute of America. Look at that. Huh, man? Baby, we written in stone, baby. Seminole Chief Billy Bowlegs. Remember I was telling you about Billy Bowlegs, what he said? Look at what he got on his head. He is heavy. And then you see the depiction. Then you see the Maori statue, the Moari, the Maori statue. Don't he look like Billy Bowlegs? What he got on his head, man? Huh? Come on, man. Are y'all crazy? And y'all don't want to be educated by your own brother and help me build this temple and help me build this education house? Easter Island statues. Narmer, also known as Means, unified Upper and Lower Egypt for the first time and therefore founded the first dynasty of a unified Egypt wearing a fez-type crown. Huh? And you gonna let somebody talk about the fez ain't ours? Man, stop playing, man. Stop playing. The European will tell you that the fez is yours. Khufu, originally Kuni Khufu, ancient Egyptian pharaoh who ruled in the first half of the Old Kingdom period. So what does the fez symbolize, y'all? Look at the brothers, man. Come on, nobles. The secret meaning of the fez. Watch this. Like all other symbols which have left an impact of its esoteric interpretations upon the minds of men and women, the fez has many, or rather layers of meanings. These layers are to be peeled back by those who know it and who can live it. There are both esoteric and exoteric interpretations of the fez, or the tarbouch, what they like to connotate it. Right? The sacred geometry of the fez. The fez is composed of 2 circles and 1 curved rectangle. The 4 angles of the rectangle equal 360 degrees. Likewise, it is well known in the occult and the metaphysical, in that realm, that the circles represents 360, or a full cycle. 3 times 360 equal 1800. 1 plus 8 plus 0 plus 0 equals 9. And this is a numerological way of saying that as a sacred geometric symbol, the fez reduces to what? 9, baby.
Number 9.
We talk about 9 to the 9 to the 9 power. Come on, y'all better walk with me. This science, man. Y'all should be saying Islam all over it.
Number
9 itself is an extremely symbolic number connected to the woman, specifically the birth process. As it is the woman or the womb of man that give birth in 9 months. However, 9 is not the only number associated with the fez. The rectangle is composed of 2 parallel lines uniting the 2 circles, a lower circle and a higher circle. The lower circle represents the finite knowledge, while the higher circle represents the infinite wisdom. Surely the wearer of the fez must possess the wisdom to balance the higher and the lower planes of existence, forever reminded by the rotating tassel that life is a cycle and governed by the laws of what? That movement. The same law that governs the universal itself. But what is the fez sitting upon, Moors? See, the fez within of itself is not the master. See, this fez ain't the master. See, I'm telling y'all, when everybody want a fez, I want a black fez. The fez ain't the master. It's the master of the fez. That's what I keep telling y'all. It's the master of the fez, or his dome that must contain the knowledge of wisdom. That's why our prophet said, before you put this fez on your head, I gave you the 32 and 33 degrees. You're supposed to understand the material wisdom. I take you to the 720, and then we can go past the 720. I can take you to the 3rd heaven. In that sense, the fez is what the pyramid is to be on the earth, the storehouse of the mysteries left for mankind to ponder by the ancient ones, from whom we get the message to what? Know thyself. In fact, Moors, the fez does resemble the artifact closely associated with the pyramid. Watch, I give you some knowledge. Ancient Egyptians used 3 hieroglyphic signs, a holy trinity, to represent the Sopdet, the S-O-P-D-E-T, a womb-like dome, a half circle referred to by some Egyptologists as Ben, and sometimes depicted as the missing capstone of the Great Pyramid of Gaza. But our concerns is with the Ben. The Ben stone, named after the mound, was a sacred stone in the temple depicted to Ra at Heliopolis. Its symbol is a mini-shaped mound. The Kemetic symbol for Ben. This is the Kemetic symbol for Ben, man. Are y'all following what I'm saying? The symbol represents the capstone of the greatest pyramid. A parallel can be drawn between the capstone and the fez, as the fez is the capstone to the human head, and the Ben is the great pyramids. That's why we talk about national birthrights. The fez is no more abstract symbol, for it is also unworn, extremely significant and concrete purpose by Moors from around the world. Look at our prophet with the fez. Look at Deuce Muhammad with the fez. Look at Deuce Muhammad with the fez. Didn't I show y'all pictures about Deuce Muhammad yesterday? Deuce Muhammad Ali was an influential Pan-Africanist, a supporter of Islam, traveled widely throughout the African diaspora. He founded the African Times and the Orient Review in 1911. Other famous leaders in the so-called black community on the time in the fez. Elijah Muhammad, founder of the Nation of Islam. Look at him with the fez on. Look at Muhammad Ali with the fez on. Don't let nobody lie to y'all because they took the check. We got the check. Now we can take the power back. Look at this fez science. Don't let nobody take your science. I'm done, Morris. Any questions? I'm done. Y'all should, come on, man. We should be students, man. Y'all should want to be part of this movement.
What's your nationality?
I told y'all, your nationality, like my mom said, Moorish American. What's your race? Asiatic. What's your status? White. So, if you're gonna feel some senses out and you're not gonna do it the right way, don't do it at all. Because if you understand science, give Caesar what is his. We can do things the right way. That's the analogy of the lion and the lamb waking up together and having peace. That's what this world is all about. It was tribes. We do have a self-identity. It's in the law books, and the only way to get out the fire is go through the fire.
Through the fire.
Islam Moors.
Yeah.